We live in a world that knows everything but understands so little. Our devices are smart, our systems are intelligent, but our worlds often confused. Our inner conversations are leading us nowhere. We can speak to somebody a mile away, and yet we truly struggle to listen to somebody just sitting beside us. We have access to endless information, and yet we doubt, we worry that what's true, what's real, and what's enough. We easily call this an age of information, but as easily it could be called as age of overwhelm. So I've been sitting with a question for a long time now, that can we really be smart without being wise? Because the intelligence built this modern world, but only wisdom will help it survive for future. We today consume more data ever than what our ancestors consumed in their entire lifetime. Our minds are constantly overworking. We are always scrolling, searching for more information, refreshing more ideas through different platforms. But are we really sitting with ourselves to understand what truly is our potential? How can we shape the new world that is coming in front of us? Probably no. Just because we are always within this overwhelm of information and overloaded with information from different parts of the society. The time is that we reintrospect what we are learning today. We have confused knowledge for knowing, connection for communication, and we are bombarded with input, but we starve for true insight. But wisdom truly is found in silence, in stillness, in synthesis, the very things that modern life has trained us to overlook. So what wisdom really is? Can we just buy it somewhere? Can we just get it from somewhere? Or is it something deep that we need to search within ourselves? Is something that I want you all to introspect on. Wisdom isn't about having more answers. It's about asking better questions. It lives between the pause of, just that moment of deciding that whether this is true or whether this needs to be reinforced and rethought about. It is not about asking questions like what's fastest, what's easiest, and what can we do, but it's about asking a question, is it right? And that's where the wisdom starts building onto. Today, we are losing the effort of this wisdom because of the lifestyle that we have developed and living. We value speed over stillness, efficiency over empathy, productivity over presence. We are the most informed age, but yet the most anxious. Today, I see many of the kids coming up with more anxiousness. There are number of therapy sessions have increased. The personal counseling sessions have increased for the children of today. And why is this all happening? It's because we are following the trends and not the truth. We are living in, more of from the world outside and not inside. And that's causing this, disharmony within ourselves. When the intelligent outruns wisdom, we create smarter machines which can do better and perform better. But in the progress, they are losing out the essence which the technology can do, but it cannot understand why it is doing what it is doing. Today, AI can write, predict, compose, but it can, and even mimic emotions. But what it cannot do is it cannot understand and care like the real humans. It can process data and patterns, but it cannot find the purpose that a human wants to live with. It can calculate patterns, but not meanings to those patterns. So probably the edge that humanity must reclaim today is not the intelligence, but the integrity. It's not about having more information, but how to wisely we use that information to turn it into intelligence. Maybe turning that intelligence is more important into wisdom than acquiring more information again and again. The wisdom that comes from within, and this wisdom is something that an AI cannot create. AI cannot cry at a poem that it has written at its beauty. It cannot really go and give a hug to a person who is in need. AI cannot give you those words when you need to feel motivated. It would just give you generated answers, and I'm sure you all have tried doing that today and not been successful with it. So wisdom lies with the human effort no machine can possess, a consciousness, a heartbeat, and a sense of meaning that only a human can bring, and no machines can do that for us. So this is a true sense of wisdom where a human can bring. So probably it is with the teachers, the wisdom is with the teachers who listen deeply to their students. It's with parents who pause before reacting on everything that this kid is doing. It is with a leader who reflects and asks questions like not how much productivity are we delivering in this process, but what values are we calculating before doing this work. That kind of a society will lead us to the better future. Probably in the times to come, we have forgotten what true reflection actually means, because sitting with yourself is analyzing and reflecting back on your actions and on your behavior. But we have glorified fast thinkers and not the deep ones. We always go and boost people who are more faster, quicker, and have the easiest path. But we do not pat the back of people who have taken slower but the righter path on their journey. And that's because the balance is going different. So this understanding needs to develop when somebody is working through non-distractive process of life, where you're walking without hearing a podcast or hearing some music, when you are sitting with self or sitting long enough in silence to let your mind unclutter yourself so that you can pause and think that, where am I heading to and what would this serve the humanity for? Where the reflection of information matures into understanding, and the understanding then blossoms into insight. But rarely do we give the time to this kind of reflection in our life, because we all are moving too fast and we are really in the hurry to become successful the fastest that we can, and that is what is hampering our ultimate goal of wisdom. Probably it's time that we rethink about what progress really means. And maybe progress is not how much can we automate, but maybe how wisely we choose to value the systems that we are placing in the new society that is coming up for us. A wise world would measure success not by production, but by empathy, ethics, and emotional well-being, a very critical aspect that we are just neglecting in the fast-paced world. Wisdom is that bridge between what is possible and what is principled. This bridge and this delicate balance is something that we are missing in today's world. In our pursuit of advancement, we are perfecting efficiency, but neglecting the balance that has to be there. We teach more accelerated actions, but we are missing on the alignment that is truly needed to build the better world. When there is a lot of acceleration in the society, the reflection naturally slows down because nobody has the time to process all of those things. So we are slowing down our reflection process, and in that we are misbalancing the whole equation. So maybe every society as a whole always thinks that we are moving forward. But the right question is to ask, where are we moving forward? And maybe it's not the speed, but the direction that perhaps needs to be thought about. That if we are moving forward, are we moving in the right direction, and are we not being left behind by the other patterns of the society? So that's the question that we need to think about. The harmony between intelligence and wisdom is what the foundation of the new world would be. Acceleration, it's alignment. So maybe we are missing on something, and that missing is not how intellectual we are, but probably how authentic our intellectual is. What about the authentic intelligence that is there for us to decide? The kind of intelligence that asks us to stop before we react, the kind of intelligence that gives us a permission to think of a question before we are just reacting naturally to situations around us, that listens before deciding or taking some rapid action. So that kind of authentic intelligence is missing in today's scenario, and we need to cultivate that. Maybe the wisdom is not an advanced state of intelligence, but it need to be reclaimed so that we can hold this world in a better shape and a better form, so that we can pass it on to the generations who will come next after us. We have to understand intelligence with wisdom, and so intelligence is knowledge without compassion would just be intelligence, because otherwise it is just being knowledgeable but not having the compassion that you have. If you have data but not the depth in it, again you're missing the main chunk of it. You need to have data with the depth so that you can progress better. And you need to progress with a perspective, because that will shape the new world that we want to really be in. So the story of our time is not how much knowledge we have gathered. It's more of, how we are going to use that knowledge enough wisely so that we can pass it on to new generations. We have mapped the human genome right now, but we have not mapped human judgment. We still question that. We have decoded intelligence, but not the intention. Our inventions reveal both our success rate but also our blind spots, and we need to be aware of these blind spots so that we can change them in future, because progress without perspective is just motion without meaning. So the question real question isn't how intelligent we become, but whether we remain wise enough to use that intelligence. Maybe when the history will look back at this century, it will have question to understand, were we the smartest one to have and collected more knowledge, or we were the wiser one to gather and process that information correctly. So that is going to be difference, because ultimately it's not the information that will define us, it's the way we interpret that information will define us in the future. And also questions like, are we evolving in intelligence faster than our understanding? Can a data alone guide a destiny of a country or of the world that we are living? Can a civilization truly progress if it forgets to pause? These are something that retrospectively we'll have to sit back and answer for ourselves. And perhaps intelligence will help us build the world, but only wisdom will help us to keep it safe. Because the next great revolution is not going to be technological, but it's going to be deeply personal, human, because what humans can do, not other machines can do that. And in the world that knows everything, the last question that I want to leave you all with, as we know, in the world that knows everything, can we still remember what it means to truly be wise? So that's it. Thank you.